Hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a great day today. Today, I'm starting a series that hopefully is ongoing. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this. I announced yesterday that starting today, hopefully, you guys like it. Hopefully, you guys want me to continue this. Of a character one on one series where I talk about and explain to you about a character that I'm representing. And I've been really wanting to explain this character to a lot of you guys because not a lot of you are familiar with this character. And the character I'm talking about is the original Captain Marvel himself, Billy Batson, or some of you fans call him Shazam. Now, heading in the 1940s, superhero comics were running high. I mean, the likes of Superman, Batman, name all the Submariner, the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond. So a company called Fawcett Comics decided to capitalize the idea on this trend, and they would publish their own superhero, who they would name Captain Marvel. Now, the character Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, of course, was created by Bill Parker and C.C. Beck, and made his first appearance in the second issue of Whiz Comics in 1940. And during the 1940s, he was the most popular superhero on the planet, outselling even the likes of Superman and Batman at the time. And his original origin goes along something like this. After his parents died when he was a very young age, and his cruel and abusive uncle Ebenezer kicked him out and robbed him of his inheritance, Billy decides to fend for himself on the streets of New York City, later renamed Fawcett City in honor of Fawcett Comics, to sell newspapers. One day, a shadowy figure that resembles his late father tells him to follow him to the train station. Now, realistically, this would never happen, but just bear with me. And as they would approach the train station, a magical train shows up with magical hieroglyphics appear on it. They enter the train. The train levitates off the ground and goes at beyond supersonic speed to the point where they literally transcend through space and time. To the point where they approach a giant mountain-like place, and inside that giant mountain rock place was a cave. As they enter the cavern, and as they walk out of the train, they walk through 7 statues that contain the 7 deadly enemies, 7 deadly sins of man. And as Billy continues to walk forward, he sees an older gentleman sitting upon a chair. As he got closer to the older man's view, the older gentleman stands up and introduces himself as the wizard Shazam, who tells young Billy Batson he has fought the forces of evil for thousands upon thousands of years, and he has chosen Billy to be his new champion due to his good nature, his purity in heart, his strength in optimism, and in spirit. So he tells Billy to say his name. As Billy shouts the wizard's name, he is transformed into a man, who the wizard would name Captain Marvel, the world's mightiest mortal. Excuse me. Now, as Captain Marvel will go on to have many different superhero adventures. He would discover the Marvel family, which would later on be renamed the Shazam family, the New 52, alongside with his best friend, oh god, hold on one second. With his best friend Freddie Freeman, who would go on to take up the mantle of Captain Marvel. And no, he's not really the Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers, as well as his long lost twin sister, Mary Batson, who would be adopted as Mary Bromfield and who would take up the mantle of Mary Marvel. And he would go up against many different villains, such as Dr. Thaddeus Savannah, Ibak, Subak, Captain Nazi. Yes, there is such thing as a villain in the DC universe named Captain Nazi, and of course his greatest rival, Teth Adam, aka the Black Adam. And however, in the 1950s, something bad would happen to Fawcett Comics as well as to the character Billy Batson / Captain Marvel. National Comics, which was the original name of DC Comics at the time, decided to take Fawcett Comics to court, feeling that their character Captain Marvel was an unlawful copyright infringement on their character Superman. So in 1953, National Comics would win the case, which of course caused Fawcett Comics to stop publishing these Captain Marvel comics at the time, and as a result, Fawcett Comics would go out of business. So for nearly 20 years, not a single Captain Marvel comic was published until the 1960s, when DC's biggest rival, Marvel, capitalized on the idea and created their own Captain Marvel character named Mar-Vell, who was a scouted soldier for the alien race known as the Kree, to take over the whole Captain Marvel thing. However, in 1973, DC would begin their purchasing of the publication rights to the original Captain Marvel character, and they would bring him back in a series called Shazam. And Captain Marvel and Billy Batson in that series will continue where he left off from his adventures in the 1950s until 1985, where he, along with many other characters, will participate in one of the greatest event level comics ever created, Crisis on Infinite Earths. In 1993, DC would conclude and finalize their purchasing of the publication rights to Billy Batson / Captain Marvel, and would officially revitalize him or reimagine the character in an introductory graphic novel called The Power of Shazam, written and drawn by a legendary writer and artist himself in Jerry Ordway. If you guys want me to read and review the Power of Shazam graphic novel, please let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, I hope you guys continue to enjoy this video. Basically, to sum up what the Power of Shazam graphic novel is, it's basically a kind of modern update and reimagining of his classic and original origin from the Golden Age of comics, with some tweaks here and there. But nonetheless, he would be a mainstay in the DC Comics franchise, even when DC reimagined the DC Comics franchise again in 2011 after Flashpoint in the New 52 era. And in 2012, when DC started to reimagine the character, they renamed him Shazam. Because Jeff Johns, even though I think he's a talented writer and mostly a very intelligent dude, he assumed that everyone thought his name was Shazam. Which, if my memory correctly, throughout his entire career, the comics up and down point, he was known as Captain Marvel. So I guess Jeff Johns had a brain fart there. But from that point, he would be known as Shazam. And that, to me, I did not agree nor like the name change, along with many other hardcore avid comic book fans. However, when Mark Waid began his run of the character not too long ago, he decided to change the name of the character to the Captain, which to me is fine. It's not too bad. I still wish he went by the alias of Captain Marvel, but that's another story for another time. But if you want to know what Billy Batson / Captain Marvel has been up to lately in the comics, he's recently part of the new Justice League team called Justice League Unlimited, which is somewhat of an homage to the Justice League Unlimited animated series from the DC Animated Universe franchise, or as some fans call it, the Bruce Timm universe, and has recently gained a new power upgrade following the events of Lazarus Planet, in which many of DC's heroes, including Jonathan Samuel Kent, Superman's son, got infected with Lazarus Pit-like liquid energy. So there's that. And, there's that. Now, what big storylines was he a part of? He was a part of one of the most highly regarded Elseworld stories of all time in Kingdom Come, where he was manipulated and brainwashed years by Lex Luthor and Mr. Mind, which is another one of Captain Marvel's greatest villains. He was also involved with, as I Christ on Infinite Earths. He was part of the Darkseid War. He was a part of the Doomsday Clock story arc, which I will definitely read and review for you guys sometime in the future. He has been a part of many big events in the DC. Hell, he was part of the World War III story, where Black Adam went to war with every other DC hero on the planet. So yeah, he's been a part of a lot of big events in comics. Now, some of you guys wonder, is it Captain Marvel or Shazam? Us fans prefer still going by Captain Marvel. But if you want to call him Shazam, because of the name change. If you feel that's easier to do so you won't confuse yourself, that's fine. But we prefer to call him by his original name of Captain Marvel. But to be honest with you, it's either or. Either or, if that's, but when we think of the word name Shazam, we think of the wizard that gave Billy Batson his power. So really, in all honesty, his real name is really Captain Marvel. But if you want to call him Shazam, more power to you. But as I said before, his real name in our eyes is Captain Marvel. Just to let y'all know that. As for his powers and abilities, hold on one second. Now, the question I'm sure many of you guys want to know: can Billy Batson slash Captain Marvel defeat Superman? And the answer is yes. He has defeated Superman before. As a matter of fact, there was one instance in the comics where he explored Superman's vulnerability to magic by wrapping his fist with Zeus's lightning and then proceeded to two-hit KO the Man of Steel. And yeah, that goes to show you just how powerful Captain Marvel is. Now, as for his powers and abilities, um, due to the events of, here are his current powers and abilities. For those of you who want to know, he has been recently empowered by the Rock of Eternity, following the circumstances of the events of Lazarus Planet, which I told you briefly about before. Where he had to inherit the wizard's position as keeper of the Rock of Eternity, binding him to the magic containing with it, granting him higher level of magic normally possessed by the wizard Shazam. He has since used its powers to make it connected to him rather than the other way around. And through him, allows him to, we gave him the ability of reality alteration. His empowerment of it allows him to manipulate reality. Through force of will, he managed to bind the Rock of Eternity to his being in a miniature form, rather instead of the Rock binding him to it. Now, with that being said, due to being empowered by the wizard Shazam, he is a conduit of the living lightning. Through this power, he has given him each powers and abilities associated with heroes and legends from Greek and Roman mythology, such as Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. Because of that, he is regarded as a champion of magic. Because of that, through that he has transformation. He can use the living lightning to transform back and forth through his mortal form and his superpower form just by saying the word Shazam. Here are his powers and abilities when he shouts the word Shazam: the wisdom of Solomon. This grants him a wide variety of intellectual abilities, such as superhuman knowledge and intelligence, wisdom, of course, clairvoyance, a degree of hypnosis, good conscience, a brilliant strategist and tactician, and makes him omnilingual. I mean, he can speak any language you could think of, both human and alien dialect. Now, H in the word Shazam gives him the strength of Hercules. I don't really need to explain this ability, but for those who are curious, I'll give it to you anyway. This gives him grants him immeasurable, near limitless levels of superhuman strength, making him one of the strongest beings in the DC universe. His strength is so high, it is arguably on par with the likes of Superman and his arch nemesis, Teth Adam, aka the Black Adam. As a matter of fact, throughout the course of his career, he has strength comparable to not only Superman and Black Adam, but to other godlike superheroes and supervillains. During the Golden Age of comics, he was so strong he was able to effortlessly move planets and stars. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to regain my thoughts. I'm sorry. Um, Oh yes. Yeah. During the Golden Age, he was able to effortlessly move planets and stars. However, in recent years, he has refrained from doing those feats. But considering his battle feats against Superman, Wonder Woman, Lobo, and his arch rival Black Adam, he is capable of doing so. A for the A in the word Shazam grants him the stamina of Atlas. This grants him unlimited self sustenance, endurance, and of course stamina. This allows him to survive without food, water, air, and oxygen. Um, Next up is, of course, Z, the power of Zeus. This grants Captain Marvel immense raw power, of course, similar to that of the Sky Father of Mount Olympus, Zeus. Not only does this enable him to control, contract, and manipulate the living lightning, but this also grants him vast resistance to magical attacks to the point where only beings that possess high order magic can harm him, like the Spectre, Phantom Stranger, Doctor Fate, Zatanna, and of course, the wizard himself, Shazam. He can shoot, similar to Zeus, can shoot electric blasts from his body. He can also use the power of Zeus to empower anyone he feels is worthy, which, of course, according to the wizard Shazam, it's the greatest of all Captain Marvel's abilities. He has a limited form of teleportation where he can teleport from the back and forth from the Rock of Eternity with a simple thought. And he can also use the power of Zeus to conduct wide variety of magical spells and sorcery. For example, one time he was able to summon a ping pong table. One of the instances where he was able to um shrink himself down to near microscopic size. Um, yeah, he can do all kinds of stuff with the power of Zeus, but of course he's not as experienced in magic like the Wish of Shazam nor Black Adam. But that's something interesting he can come up with. Also, he can use the power of Zeus to heal himself from injuries as well as others, which is pretty damn cool. A for the courage of Achilles. Now this grants him his near invincibility. The good news is he's not doesn't have the same weakness as Achilles does, where he's vulnerable in the heel. Thank God, because that would be incredibly freaking stupid. The courage of Achilles only gives him bravery and courage and all that good stuff. Like he was able to fight through Scarecrow's fear toxin, but also grants him his near invulnerability that is supposedly either on par, if not better, than Superman's. I mean, due to the fact that he possesses greater resistance to magic than Superman, which of course Superman himself admits that Billy fares better against the supernatural than him. He was able to take punch blows from Superman, Wonder Woman, Lobo, Superboy Prime, Black Adam without really sustaining injury. He was also able to withstand being blasted from the Voidhound, which powerfully destroyed 10 to 15 star systems within its test run. He was also able to withstand being turned inside out by a Tesseract bomb, and afterwards, Billy says that he doesn't think any other member of the Justice League would have survived that. Just letting you all know. But yeah, he's pretty damn one tough cookie, Billy Batson, when he is Captain Marvel. And last but not least, he has the speed of Mercury. The speed of Mercury makes him extremely fast. His speed is so great. And hold on 1 second. What the fuck? Excuse me for one moment. Here we go. His speed is so great that his speed is said to surpass Superman and rival the Flash. I mean, there's a moment in the comics where he was able to catch up to Wally West Flash moving beyond the speed of light. And Wally West was like, is he a speed user? You know, Wally West, for those who do not know, is the fastest and the most powerful of all the Flashes. So that's pretty damn impressive. Although I think it is agreed that Wally West is indeed faster than Billy as Captain Marvel. The fact that felt that Billy as Captain Marvel was able to keep up with him at pretty decent speed at a pretty decent pace is pretty impressive. Um, when he's flying, he can fly. Obviously, he has ability to defy gravity. He tries to limit his atmospheric speed to Mach 10, so he doesn't cause catastrophic damage with his flight speed. But yeah, he is extremely fast. So with that being said, those are all the abilities of Captain Marvel slash Billy Batson. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section. Oh, I forgot what movies has he appeared in. He was the first superhero to have his own serial film series called The Adventures of Captain Marvel, featured in 1941. I think you can still find it here on YouTube. If you want to watch that, you could check it out. As for his theoretical theories of films, like theater films, I thought David S. Sandberg did a pretty solid job with the character, especially in his first film back in 2019. You know, back in the first Shazam movie back in 2019. If you haven't seen the first Shazam movie from 2019, it is really damn good. The best way I can describe the first Shazam movie from 2019, it's basically, think of the movie Big that starred Tom Hanks and Elizabeth Perkins, but with superpower. That's basically what it is. A superhero version of the movie Big, and it's not as action packed like a lot of superhero movies, but that's okay. Not every superhero movie needs to be super action packed to be successful. Plus, its tone is bright and colorful, joyful and hopeful, similar to that of Richard Donner's Superman from 1978. It's a really damn good movie, and if you want me to watch and review it for you guys, I'm more than willing to do so. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. And that's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. Billy Batson Captain Marvel is a great character. He definitely, I'm glad he's back to his A-list status thanks to the now defunct DC Extended Universe to some extent. I'm glad more and more people are getting into his character. I think he's really cool. I think he's really fun. And that's all I really got to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.